Hi, my name is Brian Mattingly. Do you or someone you know use tobacco products? Let me take a minute of your time to explain just some of the hazards associated with smoking and chewing tobacco. Smoking is one form of tobacco use that can easily lead to other health risks. Among all of these health risks include lung cancer, heart disease, throat cancer, mouth cancer, asthma, just an array of illnesses that can be all traced back to smoking or using tobacco products. Right now we're just talking about smoking as one of the forms of tobacco use. So not only is smoking dangerous, not only can it have an effect on your health, but it can also have an effect on your wallet. Some conservative estimates say that at $4 a pack of cigarettes, if a person smokes just one pack of cigarettes a day, which is what probably most of the smokers in America at least consume, you'll spend roughly $1,500 on cigarettes a year. That's a cost that could be easily avoided. Over the course of a couple years, you could buy a used car with that money. You could do a lot with $1,500 a year, other than smoke and ruin your health. So that's just one thing to keep in mind about smoking. Is not only does it risk your health, every cigarette you smoke brings your life to a closer end, but it also can wreak havoc on your finances if you're not careful. So also another thing to keep in mind about the cost of smoking is not only does it directly affect what you spend just on the cigarettes, but it also affects, if you smoke, you're going to need more health care. You're going to be taking more visits to the doctor, the dentist, things like that. And not only that, but a lot of insurance companies charge a higher premium to smokers and tobacco users. So not only are you visiting the doctor more, but you're paying more to do so because of that habit of smoking. Another form of tobacco use is chewing tobacco, otherwise known as dip, snuff, different things. It's also dangerous to your health. Now, some people say smokeless tobacco is a healthier, safer alternative to smoking cigarettes or pipe tobacco or cigars or what have you. Don't believe that. It may be a slightly lower risk, but it's still going to damage your health in ways that you could easily avoid. Some of the health risks associated with smokeless tobacco are oral cancer, throat cancer, cold sores. The list goes on and on. You could lose literally your jaw. They could have to, if it gets bad enough, they may have to go in and remove part of your jaw. That's your face. That's part of your body that you're ruining. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Just because you can't see the smoke or you can't smell the smoke doesn't mean that the tobacco use is not dangerous. It's very dangerous. Also, with smokeless tobacco, there's almost just as high of a cost as smoking cigarettes. So a can of dip is, it's I think about $3 a can. So if you're chewing one can a day, that's over $1,000 a year. So just to feed into what I said earlier about that cost, just with the cost of buying the tobacco, you could do a lot more with that money throughout the course of a year. Save it, pay off your mortgage, whatever. You buy a used car. I would think that those are all options that would be better than buying a can of dip. than risking your health and everything else. So I would think that that would be a pretty good point to be made. Is not only are you risking your health, but you're risking your finances when you use tobacco. So to conclude what I'm saying here, tobacco use, it's not worth the cost, either health-wise or financially. It's one of the most costly daily habits in our culture today. You'd be hard pressed to think of anything else that somebody does on a daily basis that costs as much. It contributes to roughly 2 million deaths annually, with about 600,000 of those deaths tied to secondhand smoke exposure. So that's a tremendous amount of life that is being lost due to cigarettes and tobacco use, and it's a loss that could be prevented. So another little fact, people would say that alcohol is dangerous. Why isn't there this backlash about alcohol? That may be true, but it's not every time you drink alcohol, it doesn't damage your health irreparably. If you consume too much of it, it could, but cigarettes, every time you use tobacco in any way, you're damaging your health irreparably. It can't be fixed. You can't take it back. Alcohol, the deaths related to alcohol are less than 2 times the amount of deaths associated with tobacco use. So that's a lot lower than the numbers we're seeing for tobacco. So if I were you, I would think hard about smoking, about tobacco use in general, before you ever decide to light a cigarette. Tobacco is one of the most lethal drugs that is legal in our culture today, and it's up to each one of us to put a stop to it. Thank you.